All right, we're here in downtown Mobile with Fred Rendfrey with the Downtown Mobile Alliance, and I got a beautiful setting for today's Cornerstone. Again, the Cornerstone is really a conversation with people in the realm of planning, design, placemaking, construction, and really how projects happen. Today we're sitting in this beautiful park, Bienville Square in the heart of the downtown. Really just want to learn more about Fred and about the Downtown Mobile Alliance. So Fred, just kick us off with kind of this icebreaker. You've been traveling recently. You've been to a lot of different places for inspiration for what you do and your role in this organization. What is your favorite place that you've ever been?
So perhaps because I just got back, but we just got back from Paris, France, and as it's just an urbanism's dream, urbanist's dream, and it's just a pretty lovely place. So I probably have to say Paris, France right now.
Is there a specific corner, street corner? Or,
no,
park?
no, not it's
Just all of it.
It's every neighborhood is delightful, and has just a lovely blend of uses, and Paris.
It's the example of refined urbanism. Yeah. Fred, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up on the Mississippi coast and went to Millsaps College, and I worked for the Mississippi Development Authority in Jackson, Mississippi, and that led to me getting a master's degree from the University of Southern Mississippi in economic development, and worked with a couple of economic development organizations before finding my way with the Downtown Mobile Alliance, doing downtown economic development. And I think I am passionate about boring community and economic development. I think that my personal real estate investing than any of my professional economic development activities and CEO activities are all around, community development at a true basic level. So that's what gets me excited. And the Downtown Mobile Alliance, we do it through a number of different tools. Look at our bid services is sort of the foundation of it, and that is clean, safe, and beautiful. So we've got a team of ambassadors, 13 of them, that help clean up downtown, work on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If it's not clean and safe, no one will want to work there, hang out in a park there, eat there, live there, recreate there, etc. So focus, on those bid services, clean, safe, beautiful, but it's also horticulture. Mm-hmm. It's, as we were talking about, we run a sidewalk sessions, sort of busking program. It's also advocacy. It is through visioning. We love visioning. In fact, we're here in Bienville Square, and Bienville Square was redone after Sally and Zeta destroyed 18 trees and broke some of the infrastructure here in the park. And so the Downtown Alliance supports the Downtown Parks Conservancy, and the Downtown Parks Conservancy had a plan, and when we needed a plan, we had one in the nick of time.
Yeah.
The tables and chairs we're sitting at here were purchased by us. Our operations team puts them out and locks them up every day when we lock up the bathrooms. So, those are just some of the tactics that we use. Public art's another one. Mm-hmm. We mentioned public art that we can hear, the sidewalk sessions, but public art that you can see. We do murals. There's a mural across the park, Kelsey Montague, that we're really excited about. We're partnering this year with the Mobile Arts Council. We're going to be a sponsor of their mural festival. And so by sponsoring their mural festival, they're going to be successful. Mm-hmm. And they're going to help put up a series of murals downtown and public art installations. So Again, those are just some of the tactics that we apply
Yeah.
to our placemaking and economic development activities.
Is the Downtown Mobile Alliance is a 501c3 nonprofit, or what's the structure of the organization?
We have one of each.
Okay.
Not being vague, but Main Street Mobile is the 501c3.
Okay.
But DMA is the membership organization,
Okay.
and the DMDMC is the business improvement district.
So there's a pretty synonymous connection between the Mobile Main Street and the Downtown Alliance, right?
Yeah, so when Mobile Main Street in 2004 was separating from the city, and when they separated, they also created the business improvement district.
Okay.
And so when Main Street left the city, some of its assets came to, including intellectual property. There were even some physical assets that came, and so Main Street Mobile and the DMA board overlap and are one and the same, and the DMDMC board is separate but very similar.
Okay. So I mean, really,
There's a lot of overlap.
The core mission's aligned.
Exactly.
Yeah, it made sense for that to kind of work together in tandem. Yeah. So you've talked about some placemaking elements, some economic development. Is there a way to compartmentalize that in y'all's organization? I mean, is there we're 50% placemaking, 50% economic development, or does it vary based on need and project specific needs?
We try to spend about 50 to 52% of our budget on public space management.
Okay.
And so we are doing that this year. 52% of our budget will go to public space management. We're actually growing the team from 13 to 15 ambassadors.
Okay.
And we're excited about that.
That's great. Yeah. And so what types of folks are in your organization that are working with you to kind of help touch all these aspects of downtown and the needs here?
So, we've got operations and our ambassadors, then we have marketing, and then we have economic development.
Okay.
And so, some of our economic development goals are around blight reduction, vacancy reduction, about like restaurant turns. It's about hospitality, ADR and RevPAR, some esoteric things. And then, some of the things we work on are hard to quantify for an
Sure.
ROI.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going back to the question of how we allocate time. Try to do 52%-ish public space, maybe the other 48% economic development and marketing.
Yeah. It kind of gives a picture of what it takes to make things happen, and like y'all's is not just a one project and we're done kind of thing. It's an ongoing evolution, and probably you mentioned y'all's annual meeting, and there's probably some board meetings that happen along the way. I mean, there's a constant checking of the pulse, I would assume, on hey, or do we need to give this more attention, or what are our needs for the upcoming calendar or fiscal year?
So I'll kind of introduce maybe two projects that we are working on that, have a long-term horizon, but are both satisfying to work on. So one, we call it street optimization, but true story, small world, Jeff Speck, famous Jeff Speck of Urbanism Channels.
Yeah.
His brother was the symphony conductor in downtown Mobile.
Wow.
And we were lucky enough to hire Jeff to do what we call our street optimization, and it was a block by block assessment of downtown Mobile. Looked at old loading zones and old curb cuts and traffic patterns, and made a series of recommendations. So, for instance, in context, we have a lot of one-way streets, and he recommended a lot of conversion from one-way to two-way. He started the street optimization. Our first charrette was in 2020. It happened, it was a Zoom charrette,
Yeah.
True story. It was one of those Zoom charrettes. But then we came out of COVID. He did a full assessment. he made recommendations of the streets being converted from one-way to two-way. We had to do warrants. We had to put out the bid for the engineers. The city had to hire the engineers, had to do the work, had to bless and validate, the recommendations of the plan. And this year, now ongoing, we have had 9 streets converted from one-way to two-way, and are still actually being restriped right now. So, some of the projects that we work on have 5-ish year plus horizons. We worked on the Isom Clemens Civil Rights Park recently, and that had a 10-year pipeline from, we worked with Rotary to apply for a grant, to have an inkling of a design, and then Restore Act happened after, that was necessitated. There was legislation spent, decade project in the work, to design a park, build a park, get the traffic right on Congress Street that matches specs plan. And that one of them was a pay-as-you-go, countywide transportation project, meaning just wildly bureaucratic and complicated. And, these projects can take 5 to 10 years.
And I was telling you earlier about, some projects we've been involved with since 2018 that are just now kind of getting to a point where we can say this is getting close to the finish line. And nearing a decade later, because of all those hoops that you mentioned earlier. And I think some people, take for granted when they walk by a park or when they walk by a new building or a street that's been upgraded, like that just happened. Or, sometimes we get impatient with the inconvenience of construction. And so for those of us on the other side of it, and the planning and bureaucratic realm, there's a lifespan of activity that happens between idea to implementation and the finished product. So I appreciate you sharing that, because it is, for an organization such as yourself, y'all kind of at the helm, kind of steering that ship for all the parts and pieces to come together, and they don't always happen overnight. All right, so you've had kind of a broad spectrum of things that you've been able to work on in the city, and we've talked about a lot of different stuff. And is there one in particular that you're the most proud of, or seen make the most change in downtown?
Probably 2 projects or initiatives. So first, the Barton Academy. Barton Academy was a project of the DMAs, and it's really satisfying when you see kids get off the bus and go to school.
So give us a little background on what that is. For those
so Barton Academy is an academy. It's the Barton Academy for Advanced World Studies. It is one of the Mobile County School System's signature academies. We crafted an MOU. It was vacant since I started working for the Alliance in 2007. I know it was vacant since the early 90s. We did an MOU with the school system that said if we raised the $9 million of build out that it would cost to renovate the school system, that they would in turn open and operate the Barton Academy for Advanced World Studies. So we created the Barton Academy Foundation. We hired a development director. We brought in tax credit consultants, and the building and the team was unique and successful. We were able to twin state and federal historic tax credits, federal new markets tax credits, an Alabama Saves CDBG efficiency loan buy down, and we raised somewhere between $1 and $3 million of cash from donations. We had some match grants. We had these credit syndications, and we ultimately turned over $9 million to the school system. They did a bid opening, hired a contractor, and quickly went to work.
Yeah.
And, it was just, like I said, super satisfying to see kids get off the bus and go to school. It's
Beautiful
really
restoration.
It's a beautiful restoration.
Yeah.
It was a historic tax credit project, so it is the historic tax credit standards. And now there is still a portion of the building renovated, underutilized, and the Barton Academy Foundation is crafting plans to renovate that, make more classroom space.
Yeah.
The school's full. Anyway, we love seeing the not only kids get off the bus, but playground chatter, energy. They had an entrepreneurship club participating in the Urban Emporium, the retail incubator downtown. I mean, it's
a true success story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Really, I mean, and that's not just a small project either. I mean, it's a massive undertaking. It just shows kind of the breadth of what y'all are capable of doing with an organization like that. All right, what's number 2?
The other thing is writing the state historic tax credit. So in 2013, our team wrote the state historic tax credit, mirrors the 1980-ish, 86 federal tax credit. It is the federal credit's at 20%, the state is 25%. We just hired Parka to do a statewide economic impact analysis, and I think they said it did $1.7 billion.
Wow.
And that of economic impact, and that was literally, I'm an economist, $960 million of direct spending. That wasn't a lot of multiplier fluff.
Yeah.
It was real. It was QRE, so it was an IRS number, and it was real money. And so in downtown Mobile alone, 40 to 45 projects, $140 to $150 million of direct investment. So Merchants Plaza, that you see right here, is one of those. Wheeler Lofts, Gateway, Buick Building, Precision Engineering, the Barton Academy.
Yeah.
These are all Admiral Sims renovation. These are all historic tax credit projects that would not have happened without the state and federal historic tax credit. Certainly wouldn't have happened to the standard with which they occurred. And there's so much demand that the credit hasn't expired yet. It expires the end of this calendar year, but it's oversubscribed. There is no more money.
Yeah.
Because there's a wait list.
Yeah.
And so, the proof is in the pudding. Just really proud of that. That's real community and economic development.
Yeah. What we talked a little bit about the economic impact and the success story of the Amtrak earlier today, and then the anticipation of Brookley Field opening up. Talk about big picture. Mobile's place in the South really is kind of a hub for transportation now, with the bridge under construction, and how that has a residual impact on downtown.
Yeah. Well, it does. So for a while, we've been saying planes, trains, and automobiles. Planes, self-explanatory. The Mobile moving the airport from West Mobile to downtown, literally a mile and a half at most from here. I could walk to the airport if I needed to.
Yeah.
Trains, right? Amtrak, the restoration of Amtrak rail service from Mobile to New Orleans has been great for not only tourism, but just an option for transportation. Options are good. As an economist, I always say options are good.
Yeah.
And then automobiles, right? Like the I-10 River Bridge. I think from a downtown Mobile perspective, the benefit to the bridge is the staggering amount of investment, from construction and services, and what that will mean for downtown, over a decade. And then also automobiles, it's the complete streets, right? We hired Spec to do the complete streets because, when a parking space next to a retail spot is worth $22,000 a year is what the U.S. Main Street Association says. And so, it is economic development having those streets optimized for pedestrians. That's what we say. We were pedestrians before we stopped here.
Yep.
We were pedestrians when we went to lunch. And so if we have to design our streets for pedestrians so that people are safe, they're comfortable, and they want to be there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, getting the streets right, that's been really successful, and what that means long term. So also we've got St. Louis Street under construction. That is a complete streets project.
Yeah.
So really excited. Not only is it going to help with slowing traffic by having the stop signs and the rhythm of the curb and gutters and the bump outs, right? It's going to have the street lights. It's also supplying the city and Alabama Power are working together so that buildings from the south will be supplied by St. Michael, and buildings to the north will be supplied from St. Anthony streets, similar to Dolphin. So it'll get some of the power lines out of the way, the clutter out of the way, and bringing all the transportation back to the Downtown Mobile Alliance and to our vision. I am really bullish on, you know, leisure travel in Downtown Mobile. I share this anecdote. Savannah gets 12 to 13 million tourists a year, and Mobile gets, you know, 3 million tourists a year. And Mobile has more residents, businesses, and historic houses. And I don't want to be Savannah.
Yeah.
I want to be an authentic Mobile. But I think Mobile can be its own Mobile and tell its story, and is doing the right things from an infrastructure and transportation perspective, doing some great things, preservation and economic development. The TID and Visit Mobile are doing some great things. So I think we've got some tailwinds, moving in the right directions.
Yeah.
And a lot of tools and tactics that we're excited about.
Yeah, and I think filling in the gaps, I think is really what y'all have been doing, and it's starting to show the kind of some of these layers are getting added on, like just the streets alone. That's the infrastructure generally was here. You know, the plan was pretty solid. If you haven't been to Mobile, the bones down here rival any of these, you know, most charming southern cities, and I think filling in the gaps is really y'all's mission, and really what you're doing really well. So Fred, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to spend a few minutes with us on the Cornerstone, and really appreciate all that you guys are doing for the betterment of Mobile and really for the greater region by your efforts. So we appreciate your time.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.